Hi guys, welcome to the Lives and Learning channel, and today I would like to demonstrate this tutorial about the SAML Federation for AWS using Windows Active Directory and ADFS. So before going implementation steps, let's walk through the basic functionality, like how SAML works with Active Directory and ADFS things. So let's go to our presentation. In the first step, what happens, we usually have Windows Active Directory for our on-premises data centers, right? So we can use ADFS service as our identity providers. Okay, so the process starts when a user access the ADFS site. Okay, so here we have to understand that ADFS site runs on the http.sys, not on the IIS. Okay, so in the second step, sign on page authenticates the user from the Active Directory with the ID which is logged on by the user. And then in the third step, user's browser receives a authentication response. Suppose that if gets authenticated, then it will receive a authenticated response along with the SAML package information from the ADFS. Okay, and then step 4, browser post that SAML package information to the AWS sign-in endpoints. In background, sign-in uses the assume roles with SAML APIs to request temporary security credentials and construct sign-in URL for the AWS management console. It all happens transparently for a user. Like user just open the ADFS site, and if internet access is there for the user, then user will get redirected to the AWS management console. So this was the basic background function. And okay, so let's go to the implementation section, and we'll see how we can implement this SAML configuration for AWS. Okay, so these are the main steps to configure. So first of all, we need a secure SSL certificate. Okay, so I don't have the certificate from the CA here. Okay, I will show you how to create that self-signed certificate. Okay, after that I will install and configure ADFS. Okay, then from that ADFS site I will download Federation metadata XML file, and then in AWS console we will create the identity provider and IAM roles. Okay, and then we will come back to the ADFS server and configure AWS as a trusted relying party, and will configure Clam Rules so that user can authenticate using the SAML and Active Directory IDs. Okay, so let's go to the ADFS server, and we will install and create some users and groups. Okay, so let's go to the server. So this is my ADFS server, and this is also a domain controller for paris.com domain. Okay, what I will do, I will create a service account named svc underscore ADFS. Okay, two users, user 1 and user 2, two groups. Let's create the users and service accounts and groups. So this is my Active Directory users and computers console. So here I will create users, groups and everything in AWS OU only. Okay, so let's create the service account first. It's svc underscore ADFS, same is the logon name, and let's create a password. As this is a service account, I will select it as a password never expire. Okay, and the second thing is I will create two test users, test user 1 and test user 2. Okay, I will create two groups also. The first group is maybe London hyphen S3 admins, and the second group is London hyphen maybe EC2 admins. Okay, so like I'm adding these groups to not all three IDs to a group named administrator, as I have to log in also on this server, as this is domain controller, so we are not allowed to log in locally. So here you are seeing that I have created groups started with LON hyphen. So this is the most important point to take care. Users permission to sign in on AWS depends on the match of the group names that starts with LON hyphen only. Okay, and we have to configure the email ID for the users also, because like this attribute will be used to identify during AWS sign-in authentication. So let's configure their IDs, email IDs. So this is the email ID section, test user1 @ paris.com. Okay, and same ID needs to be updated with different username. So this is the general section, and this is the test user 2. Okay, so like this user creation part is done. Now we will install ADFS and then configure it. Okay, so we will go to the server manager section, and there we will install the ADFS role. Okay, so let's install this ADFS role. ADFS, okay, install and restart the server if required, install it. Okay, so now when we will start to configure the ADFS, we would need the SSL certificate. So let's see how we will create a SSL certificate. Okay, so let's wait for this installation completion. After that we will install IIS, and then we will export the SSL certificate there. Okay, so this ADFS role has been installed. Let's install the IIS, and then we'll export the certificate from there. So this is the web server IIS. Next, and install. So this IIS installation is complete. Let's go to the IIS manager, and then we will export the certificate from there. So this section, you can see this server certificate section, and here create self-signed certificate, and a friendly name, maybe ADFS cert. Okay, and we have to select the certificate store as a web hosting. Okay, and just click OK. So this is the certificate, this has been created. Now just export the certificate. Okay, and where you want to export, so this is the I want to export the same on the desktop, maybe again the same name, ADFS cert. Okay, and just save this name. Now you have to enter the password also for this SSL certificate. So I have entered my password. This password would be required when we will be importing this certificate. So let's see. Yeah, so this ADFS certificate is generated. Now let's go back to the ADFS section. There we will find out, like, configure the federation services on the server. So like this is my first federation server, so I will create the first federation server in the federation server form, and click next. So this is the account, like with this account only all the configurations will be done, and click on the next. Here you have to import the SSL certificate. This is ADFS, and here I have to enter my password. Okay, and here is the display name, like when you will access the ADFS site, this display name will be there. So maybe you can mention AWS console XYZ, whatever the name you want to keep. Okay, so click on the next. So here I have to enter the service account. So service account, this is the service account, svc underscore ADFS. So this service account, and I have to enter the password also. So this is the password, and next. Okay, so like here it is asking for the database. So as of now I am going with Windows internal database only, not with the SQL Server database. Okay, click on the next, and it is reviewing the sections. Okay, so just click the next. It is checking all the prerequisites if everything is fine or not. Okay, just click on the configure. So this ADFS is being configured. Let's wait. Okay, so this has been done, and restart is required. And the second thing is SPN. We have to set this SPN for the service account manually. For this, what we can do, we can open our CMD console or PowerShell, and we have to run a command, set SPN -a host slash localhost and our service name. This is the service name, and enter. So you can see object has been updated. So this is done. Now let's reboot the server. Okay, so we are going to reboot the server, and we'll come back once the server will be up. Okay, so server is up now. Now what we need to do, we need to download the Federation metadata file, which is in XML format. So that file I will use Google Chrome. Okay, and to download that file, this is the URL. Okay, just enter it, and this Federation metadata file has been downloaded. This is the metadata file, and using this metadata file only we will configure our SAML provider on the AWS management console. Okay, so this console I am logged in. Okay, now I will go to the IAM section, this IAM, and here I will go to the identity provider. In short, I can say IDP. Okay, and click on the create provider, and we will select the type of provider. Currently AWS is supporting OpenID Connect and SAML only, so we are demonstrating here for SAML. So just click on SAML, just click a name, friendly name, like this is our, I can say Paris ADFS. Okay, and metadata file which you have downloaded from the ADFS server. Okay, so this is our metadata file. Okay, and next path and create. So this is done. My identity provider is created. Okay, so let's copy the ARN of this provider and keep it on a notepad for future. We will see where we will use this. Okay, so this is done. Okay, so now what like we will do, we will create two IAM roles which will be assumed by the AD users when they will try to log in on AWS using Federation site. Okay, so let's go to the role section and create role. So here we have to select the SAML 2.0 Federation. Okay, and SAML provider, obviously this pair is ADFS, and what kind of access you want to provide, like only programmatic access or console access. So I'm providing both the accesses. Okay, just click the next permission. So like as we have created two groups, the one is S3 admin and another one is EC2 admin. So I will select all the EC2 related services first and EC2 full access. Okay, next tag, I don't want to type any tags here, just review and name. Now name ADFS hyphen EC2, okay, admins. Now here we have to take care one thing very carefully, like what is the name of the group we have created in our Active Directory. Like this is the name. Okay, so we have to like keep the same name as of our Active Directory group, EC2 admins, EC2 admins. Just ignore these prefixes. I will let you know why these are mentioned here and here. Okay, so like again you are saying that I'm using prefix for IAM roles names as this ADFS. Okay, this is also an important point to take care, which I will explain once I will be creating claim rules in ADFS. Okay, so let's create this further. Create role. Okay, this is for EC2 admins, and the same I need to create for S3 admins also. Paris ADFS, both the console access. Next permission, and obviously S3 service I want, so S3 full access. Click on the next, no tags, and again ADFS. Don't forget to mention here ADFS. Okay, or maybe some other name. I will let you know once we will be creating claim rules. Okay, so S3, and what was the name? This was S3 admins. So let's keep this S3 admins and create roles. So role has been created, and AWS part is done. Now let's go back to the AWS console, and there we have to configure rest of the things. Okay, now we have to configure the AWS as a trusting relying party federation using SAML. Okay, so like Federation using SAML required two-way trust. Okay, from AWS to ADFS server is already created, like we have created everything. Okay, and where ADFS server is the trusted as an identity provider. In same way, we have to configure ADFS also to trust AWS as a relying party. So let's go to the ADFS console. So let's open this ADFS snap-in, Active Directory FS management, and here just click on the relying party trust and add relying party trust, and everything should be this claims aware because we will claim the rules. Okay, and here we have to select this import data about the relying party published online or on a local network. So here we have to enter the URL, which is https signin.aws.amazon.com. Okay, and static SAML metadata.xml. Okay, so this one spelling mistake is there. This is signin.aws.amazon.com. Static, not status. Yes, static SAML metadata.xml. Okay, so like this metadata XML file is a standard SAML metadata document that describes AWS as a relying party. Okay, now we will click on the next. Okay, so this is a display name. If you want to keep this display name, just leave as it is, or you want to change the name, here you can change the display name also. So maybe I will say paris.com AWS. Okay, so this is done, and click on the next. So here what we have to select, because once any user will come here with his Active Directory ID only, then what we will do, we will permit everyone here. Okay, permit everyone here and click on the next. Okay, so this is the information. Click on the next again and configure claims, close. So this is our paris.com AWS domain, not domain, it's a party trust. Okay, so this is done. Now what we will do, we will configure the claim rules for this party trust. Okay, so what we will do, like these rules are the values which will be used in a SAML authentication response. Okay, so just right click it and edit claim issuance policy. Okay, so here we have to add the rules. So the first rule would be the let's click on the add rules, and here we have to select the claim rule template, and that would be as a transform and incoming claim. Okay, click on the next. Here claim rule, what is the rule name? So I want to keep as name ID. Okay, and incoming claim type, what would be the incoming claim type? That would be Windows account name, because Windows account name is the ID which will be authenticated. Okay, so Windows account name, and outgoing claim ID, which that will be again name ID. Name ID. Okay, and done, and pass through all the claim values. Just click on the finish. So this rule has been created, and the second rule, just click on the add rules, and this would be send LDAP attributes as a claim. Click on the next. Here what you have to do, you have to keep the role session name. Okay, and in role session name, what we will use, email addresses. That's why this is the reason we have configured the email addresses for each user. Okay, and paste an URL. Okay, so let me copy that URL. So this is the role session name URL. So we have to select the Active Directory. Obviously from Active Directory only we will authenticate. Just finish it. So two rules have been there. So till now two custom rules have been added. Now we have to create next rule, next custom rule, that would be for role attributes. Okay, so that is important, because using this rule only, ADFS retrieves the AD groups of authenticated users and match the exact group name with IAM role, except the prefix, which is ADFS. Okay, and for IAM role, and LON hyphen for our groups. Okay, so sending role attributes requires two custom rules. The first rule retrieves the AD group of the authenticated users, and second rule performs the transformation of role claim. Okay, so what we will do, we will create the first rule here. Okay, wait, add rule. Okay, and send LDAP attribute as a claim. So we will send as a custom rule only, not claim, as a custom rule only. Next, get AD group, and we will paste the script here, which will fetch the membership of the users. So here our script is to get all the AD groups. Okay, and here you can see temp variable is being created. Okay, so what this script will do, this script retrieves all the groups of authenticated users and put those into a temporary variable. This is the temporary variable, and Okay, now for next rule, that would be used for transforming the groups into IAM roles ARN. Okay, so let's create one more rule. This is again a custom rule. Next, and this is for role transformation, and our script. So this is our script. So here we have to like change few things. Okay, and everything needs to be changed here. So here we will change the group name prefix first. So this is the group name. Two places where we have to change this group, but like we are keeping our group names prefix as LON hyphen only, then this is fine, because this you can see LON hyphen. Okay, so only these two groups will be considered. Okay, and this ADFS hyphen, what is this ADFS hyphen? ADFS hyphen is the prefix for the IAM roles in AWS. That's why I said before some time that ADFS hyphen is very important. You can use some another names also, but for this just demonstration purpose I am using this ADFS. So, and the third thing that needs to be changed is this ARN of the our like this identity provider. Okay, so this is the ARN of our identity provider. So I will replace it. Okay, and this I have changed this. Okay, and here also what I will do, I will change the account number. Okay, and just click on the finish button. Okay, so this is done. So these four custom rules are very important, and without these four custom rules, not custom rules, claim rules, we cannot authenticate. Okay, so if we want to configure the session duration also, so we can configure the session duration. So for this time we will keep as it is only. Okay, apply and okay. So configuration is done. Okay, and now time to test whether this SAML configuration and everything is done properly or not. So what we will do, we will try to log in with this test user 1, and we will see if we are able to log in successfully on the AWS console using our ADFS site, and again we will try with user 2, and we will see if it is able to log in and it is getting the same access which we have defined in the IAM roles. So let's open MSTSC. Okay, and what is the IP of the server? It's 20, so I will keep at 20. Okay, and this is our test user 1. Okay, now here what we need an ADFS site through which we can go to the AWS console. So let's go to this Internet Explorer. Don't use Chrome, there are some settings that needs to be changed. After that only you can use Chrome. Okay, so this, click on this, let me maximize this. Okay, so due to this certificate we are getting this error. Okay, so why we are getting this error? Because we have to change some settings. Let me show you what setting we need to be changed. Okay, so this is our ADFS server only, and here only I am trying to log in. That's why this IDP initiated single sign-on page is disabled. What we will do, we will make the setting true using the PowerShell command. So this is the command, set -ADFS properties, and the which is enable IDP initiated sign-on page, and I'm making it as a true. Okay, so this is done. Now we will go back to the users console and we will try to refresh. So here I am able to log in. I can find out my AWS console and sign in the Paris, one of the following sites, paris.com AWS. Click on the sign in. So if everything is fine, this will migrate you to the AWS console. So here you can see your request included an invalid SAML response. So we have to find out what is the issue. So we have to check whether we have did everything right. So EC2 admins, group name should be correct, ADFS, EC2 admins and S3 admins. Okay, and we are trying with the test user. And okay, so test user is this a user part of any group? Okay, so this is not part of EC2 admins. And okay, so I have not added any user in these groups. So what I will do, I will add test user 1 in S3. Okay, and test user 2 for EC2 admins. Okay, great. So we will try again here. Okay, so let's see if okay, so maybe I guess I have to reopen this URL. Okay, and paris.com AWS console, click on this. Now let's see if we are getting redirected to the AWS console or not. Okay, so hopefully we are getting redirected to the AWS console now, as this is test user 1 and it has the access of S3 only. Okay, great. So here you can see ADFS S3 admin. Okay, this is the role this user assumes. Okay, and if you see, this is the paris.com domain. Okay, and test user 1 is there. Okay, so if you will see all the EC2, if it can access any EC2 content, so ideally it should get that uh, access denied or something. Okay, so an error because you are not authorized to perform this operation. And if you go to the S3 buckets, then you will be able to perform the S3 buckets and everyone. Okay, so here you can see this S3 buckets. So in this way I can say that this is fine. So what I will do, I will test by test user 2 also. Let's did it. Okay, and here I want to test user 2. Okay, and okay, on Internet Explorer only I will try. Okay, okay, so URL I have copied. This is the single sign-on URL, and again paris.com AWS, and hopefully we will be getting redirected to AWS console, and this user should have the EC2 access, nothing else. So all services, if we go to any not AWS, let's go to the Lambda service, and Lambda, here you will get some access denied kind of error. You are not authorized, and if you will go to the EC2 section, you will not get any error here. Okay, so here we are able to see whether we have any EC2 instance. So in this way our practical and our demonstration is successful. So in this way everything is fine, and we have all configured everything, and everything is working as expected. So this I'm done for today. Thank you so much for watching.